Life of a Beautiful Mind, and welcome back to my channel. So, are you guys liking my makeup? I mean, the shadows are not matching, and I'm just getting used to everything early this morning. So, today's video is about the ant. That's right. So, the other day, I was in my bedroom, and there were so many ants trailing from the window, and I'm like, where are these ants coming from? Like, how are they getting in? So I watched, and they were busy building and doing their thing. So we're talking about the ant, the little tiny ant. Let me just see if I turn my microphone up. So we're talking about the ant, and I want to tell you that I found the scripture in the Bible about the ant. It is Proverbs 6, and it says, "Go to the ant, O sluggard, observer. Go to the ant, O sluggard, observe her ways and be wise, which having no chief officer or ruler, prepares her food in the summer and gathers it for provision in the harvest." And that's exactly what ants do. I mean, as kids, you always saw ants building little ant hills, right? And that got me to thinking, but I know I've been hearing a couple prophecies online that we need to prepare for what's coming. But I remember growing up and living with my grandmother. She always purchased by the bulk. She was always buying more than one item, right? And yes, she was a church-going grandmother, praying grandmother for her family, but my grandmother always brought things in the bulk. And I would just be like, Granny, like, why are you buying 4-gallon like containers of dishwashing liquid? Or why are you? And mind you, in the house it was just me, her, and my uncle, right, until I had my daughter. So she would buy the huge bundles of paper towels, kept the freezer. She had a freezer in the back. We don't even have freezers anymore. Like, I don't have a freezer. I wouldn't even know what to put in that freezer. And if I did fill the freezer up, half the food would go bad. So she would stock her freezer. We had a shed, and she would stock this shed with paper towels, toilet paper. And this was way back, like in the late 1994. So she was stocking then. She was always preparing for what's to come. She was always prepared for, if you needed something to eat, sugar, you could go to her and say, Granny, like my other family members, because I live with her. And once I moved out, I was able to go to her and shop in her storage area. But it wasn't until now, later on in my life, that I said I need to start preparing and stocking up on items. And that's what I remembered when I thought of the ant. And after reading that scripture, how the ant is preparing. Because if you see these ants, they're working all summer. They're working all summer because they're preparing for the winter. They're preparing their little ant homes for the up and coming winter months, because they have to go into hibernation or they'll die. They have to go below ground in order to survive. So this little ant, these ants, I should say, are in my bedroom window, and they are working, they're looking, and I was able to clear them out, of course, because we don't want ants in the house. We just don't, Some of those ants, depending on which ones they are, they can bite you. So the ant is preparing for her harvest come winter. She's all stocked up. So I wanted to know, are you preparing like the ant? Now, I want to say this before I say all of this, right? I was not even going to do a video on ants because, I don't know, like God downloaded it into me. Do a video talking about preparing for your harvest like the ant does. Excuse me. So I said, okay, I'm going to finally do this video. And what happened was I was watching another video, and this person had a picture of the ant. They were not talking about ants. They were talking about saying, like, you're small, but you can do mighty things, right? So, and they had a picture of an ant. So that was a way of God reminding me to come back and do this video on ants. So the ant is diligent in working. The ant gathers all summer for the winter. Just like you and I. Like you and I can be doing the same thing. And I said, I'm going to, even like about 3 months ago, I had already told a family member, I'm like, start buying things, stocking them in. This is before I saw the ants. I told this family member, I said, you want to go in and start stocking your cabinets with canned goods, beans. And then I started hearing videos about, the prophetess on YouTube. They were talking about storing up for the famine or what's to come, and because of the election. But prior to all of that, I had already told a family member about stocking up, and they were like, oh, do you think COVID is coming back? I'm like, I don't know, but I've been having weird dreams, and I'm not a dream interpreter, but I've just been having some really weird dreams. So I said, start stocking up. So I see the ants, and it brought me to think about my grandmother, how she stayed prepared, how she always had paper towels, food, meat in her freezer, beans, canned goods, water. She really stocked up. And then, like I said, I wasn't even going to do the video on ants until I saw the picture of the ant on the other person's video. And I want to just let you know that Proverbs 6 to verse 8 talks about the ant. Go in and read that entire proverb if you want, but I'm just on the part about the ant. And start stocking up your cabinets, not just because of the famine. As Christians, you want to be prepared, period. Start stocking up on your goods and what you need for the winter months. Start now. I'm going to start doing some stocking now myself. I was just telling my husband I am going to start buying by the bulk, paper towels, body wash. Just buy it, in case you run out. And I'm going to start learning how to make body wash and soaps. And because I have some soaps that someone made for me, and I absolutely love them. So I said I was going to, start making soaps. So we'll have soaps on hand, body wash on hand. Now, I'm not going to do the freezer part. I don't think I will. I might, because I'm trying to really get away from eating a lot of meat. So if anything, I'll be doing some chicken, some salmon, and some fish. But are you stocking up like the ant? Are you thinking like the ant? Or are you just like, you see the ant? What do you think when you see ants? Do you think, let me kill them? Or do you pause and think, how this little tiny creature that God has placed on the earth just works very diligently all summer. Like, does that amaze you? It definitely amazes me. So are you stocking up like the ant? Are you going to be stocking up like the ant? Not just because you're hearing prophecies about what's to come with the election, but are you already in the mindset of getting yourself together for the winter alone? Now is a good time. We are in July. It's August. We're already in August. Hello, August. So now would be a really good time to start getting your calendar together, to stock in your paper towels, toilet tissues, soaps, detergents, stuff like that. And even if you don't buy water by the bulk, remember, depending on your area, you can always boil water. And the dollar store even has water that you can purchase if you're not into buying big cases of water to set aside. So you can boil water for 10 to 15 minutes. I know I can do that in my area. We can boil water for 10 to 15 minutes and the water can be good in case of any emergency. But go ahead and start stocking up on your paper goods, your meats. If you are a meat eater, stock up now and buy stuff in the bulk. Prepare like the ant does. If we prepare now, we will be ready later. Thanks for watching my video and check me out next time.